It's time for the news review segment. We get to have a conversation around some of the topical issues and bring you different perspectives to these same issues. I have three gentlemen in studio with me. Let me quickly say good morning to them and then we can begin the conversations. Dr. Palgrave Boakye-Dankwa is here, a member of the NPP, representing and, of course, repping the colors of the party to the fullest. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, Nana. What shall I render unto the Lord for all his benefits towards us as a party? Psalm 116, verse 12. It's good to be here. You look dashing.
No, Doc, this morning,
thank you very much.
I have an idea why you're wearing this. We'll get into it. Elvis Daku is here. Elvis is the editor of the News Center newspaper, newscenter.com. Elvis, good morning. Good to have you. Good morning. And then we have Dr. Samuel Ayer. Dr. Ayer is a presidential staffer. Doc, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Dr. Palgrave Boakye-Dankwa.
Nana.
It's your colors this morning, dear.
We are the new patriotic party. We are the new patriotic party. The elephant is a winning symbol. We shall win to save Ghana.
Let's start from there. Dr. Ayer, I'm sure you know why he's in this mood.
No.
Are you threatened?
Not at all. Not
you
at
know
all.
that it's because of the UPO.
Not at all.
United Party.
Not at all. Not at all.
So they need to come out in their colors to show that they are still around.
They are
Not
still
at all.
around.
Not at all. Let me greet you in public and greet my colleagues, the presidential staffer who has come from Jubilee House. How is the president
He's coming from
doing?
home. He's coming from
Oh,
home.
well, of course, but from here he'll go to Jubilee House. I mean, that's where he wishes. That's the seat of government. How is the president doing?
No, everything is
He's
fine. God's grace.
Our special greetings to him. We wish him well. We want him to succeed. We have said that we don't need John Mahama to fail for us to come into office. Definitely, we are winning the 2028 general election, and Mahama is not the one on the ticket. And so we would wish him the best in his last legacy. But to be able to state it that you are aware that the New Patriotic Party is a party that has gone through various transformation. And from the days of the UP during the First Republic to the NLM to the Northern People's Party to the Progress Party in 1969 to the now the New Patriotic Party clearly tells you that we are a formidable party that has transcended all the generations and all the republics. And the New Patriotic Party is the political party that has stabilized this dispensation of the Fourth Republic. I saw the upsurge of the UPP, which is the United Party Plus that Alan Kojo Tremantin has set up. One of the things that I think is that a fruit does not fall too far away from its tree. It clearly tells us that there are some deep concerns within the party that we need to look at. Alan Tremantin is reminding us as a party that we need to go back to our roots and our values. And for me, it clearly represents that in the upcoming restructuring and rebuilding of the party and with the surgence of our new flag bearer, Kennedy Ejapong, who I'm confident would win the 31st January election, is a clear reminder that we need to go back to the basics of where we started from. And I'm in no doubt in my mind that the way CPP ended, CPP was short-lived. It lived with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Now we have members of CPP who are serving in the government of Dr. You are aware that there are a lot of people in CPP that are serving in John Dramani Mahama's government. So, I mean, we are not threatened at all by UPP. We would wish them well. I am not too sure that it would live beyond Alan Kojo Tremantin, as we saw with CPP. His percentage, even in the election, could tell that he's a founding member of the New Patriotic Party. We would welcome him back into the party. I'm confident that when Kennedy becomes the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party and we have a new change and a new fresh ideas, Alan Kojo Tremantin would be a formidable person that will be part of the reconstruction of this party.
That might be difficult. Now he's officially registered a political party.
That's what I said. I mean, I hold it very clearly that a fruit does not fall too far away from his tree. And if you look at it, he's not too driven away from what, as a new patriotic party, we have stood for over the years, and the party has gone through various transitions. And I mean, his starting of the UPP, which is the UP Plus, clearly indicates that he wants to send a strong signal to the new patriotic party that we must be reminded of where we have come from as a political party, and make sure that we don't drift away from it. It also clearly tells you that the cracks that are within the party are too deep, that we need to be able to immediately remend it and rebuild it, and which is why this rebuilding agenda is very key, because unity is very important. I mean, clearly it's not a problem, but I don't see the long life of this UPP that has been set up. We are a strong united party from the pre-independence era. We predicted independence from 1947 when we formed the UGCC, went through the various transitions as a political party, and here we are now. 1992 we formed our party, and it's been in existence for 33 years. It's strong. It's not one that in a few months will be able to go away. And in the moral fabric of the Ghanaian democracy, there's no way anybody can take away the involvement and the participation of the new patriotic party. We've produced two presidents, John Agyekum Kufuor, and we've produced Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, whose legacies transcend beyond the government. It's now become a civic responsibility of the Ghanaian people that the Ghanaian people are benefiting from.
Very well. Dr. Ayer.
Yes, good morning to your viewers and my co-panelists and yourself. For me, I'm happy that another party has sprouted. It only deepens our democracy. We are now comfortable, and we know that there's one additional voice of dissent or opinion or suggestion that governments, or those of us in the NDC in government, will always listen to make reforms in whatever we do. That is the beauty of democracy, governance, and politics. For me, I am extremely happy about the organization and nature of UP+. You and I know that they can boast of one of the most vociferous and brilliant guys. The likes of lawyer Apia Dankwa, extremely intelligent, is a member of UP+. Our very own Solomon Owusu, very vociferous young man. We are looking at Nanaya Sapon and what have you. There are a whole lot of them. Yabuabia Samoa, who are very organized, very strong, vociferous. As for me, I am extremely happy about it, except that political figures that break away from their mother parties do not necessarily do well in their future endeavors. You can look at the lives of Papa Kwesi Ndium when he stood on a ticket of CPP. I mean, for the first time, he garnered about 1.73% of the votes. Unfortunately, when he ended up in PPP, he couldn't even make 0.5%. We can speak about the lives of Gusitano, Iraku Brobe, and what have you. But for me, history is there, extremely important for all of us to look at to make analysis. But the dynamics of our national or political life is changing. Nobody thought that a constituency like Dome Kwabenya will be won by the NDC. There are several of these constituencies that belong to the MPP or even the NDC that the MPP won some time ago. Just like we won Dome Kwabenya and others. Nobody can tell. The perception of young people these days, especially the Gen Zs, have changed. They don't have ties to any political party. They form 62% of the population. If at any point in time they think that the UP Plus is presenting a formidable candidate who, in their view, trumps all other candidates, they will have no other option than to choose the UP Plus. So for us, just like, unlike my brother Palgrave is saying, and he's not threatened by UP, for us, we are not necessarily threatened by UP, but we are abreast with the exigencies of the time. And it encourages us to do well, to do better, to be worlds apart from the MPP and all other political parties, so that we can create the necessary, environment for the young people of this country to be endeared towards whatever we are doing as a government. So for me, we welcome them, we appreciate their strides, and we will go a long way to do whatever we can as a political party in government to make the people of Ghana happy, to address their issues, to address their plight, so that we can always be on top. For the MPP and the other political parties to always be in opposition, so that we can continue delivering the better government that the people of Ghana have always wanted.
Very
So we welcome UP Plus, and we acknowledge their presence, we acknowledge their nature, what motivates them, we acknowledge it. And we know that their suggestions, their opinion will always be welcomed. We are a listening government, we are a tolerant government. We listen to whatever other people say, and we add it to whatever we are doing to make sure that we deliver a top-notch government.
Right. Elvis, since the return to constitutional rule, Ghana's political landscape has been dominated by the NDC and MPP. And just as Dr. Ayer has said, breakaway parties have not necessarily done enough to present themselves as a formidable third force. So if you're assessing the prospects of this UP Plus as against the dominance of the two, is there a future for UP Plus?
Well, considering the performance of that party in the last election, I don't think that there's any future. As they've said,
they won't agree with you.
Names like Papa Kwesindu, Dr. Ureku Bobe, he broke away from MPP to go and form his party, right?
Yeah.
Papa Kwesindu formed the party, Gozitano had a party, Dr. Yao, Nana Konedo Ajimai, and many more.
Yeah.
What have any of these parties achieved? This is a party that formed in the Fourth Republic. I don't want to talk about the CPP, the PA, those ones, as I said before, but I'm talking about the parties that were formed in this Fourth Republic. If you look at Dr. Abedasama, look at his stature. But what happened to his party? Gozitano, Reku Brobe. The one that I thought was going to make some difference was even Anakoda Rajma Rawlings. Because looking at the stature of the stature of former President Rawlings, and at that time having issues with the NDC, which he founded. And then looking at Anakoda Rajma Rawlings' work as First Lady, in terms of women across Ghana, almost every village you go to, you will find one 31st December movement project or the other. Either a corn mill for women to have easy access to grind, or almost every corner of Ghana had one program on the other from the 31st December movement. So, and women constitute 51% of our population. So when Nana Konedo formed her party, that was a point I thought that if women really wanted to say, this is the person who actually has demonstrated that she cared about us, the female gender, and the husband, as former president for 19 years, has also done a lot, and that if the wife has her own party, they will want to vote for her. But what happened to Nana Konedo's party? We saw the performance. So when I look at all these things, then I come to Alan Shamantin himself. Alan was made to believe that he's one of the likable people in this country. And that people who are not even MPP, at that time he was in MPP, who are not even MPP will vote for Alan if Alan is for the ticket of the MPP, right? All kinds of things were said about the person. Yes, Alan is a big stalwart in this Fourth Republic when it comes to MPP politics, so you can't take that away from him. So when people projected him as somebody that can easily pull the vote for the MPP, somebody that people who are not even MPP are willing to vote for, even some NDC members are willing to vote for, and all kinds of information was shared that is the kind of Alan people should expect. And then he broke away from the MPP to form his party. And if all the attributes that have been said about him had worked, I was thinking Alan could have pulled about 10% of the vote in the last elections. So when I look at all the things said about Alan and how he was projected, that even minus MPP, there are many Ghanaians in the other parties, including those we call floating voters, who will prefer Alan over any other candidate in an election. And then Alan goes into the elections. What are the results? Alan had 32,457 votes. The percentage is 0.28%. 0.28%. This is Alan that has been part of our political process in the Fourth Republic. Then another new entrant, Nana Kwame Bediakun, we all call him Cheddar, right? That's his popular name. That is his first time. Cheddar has not been part of our political system in this Fourth Republic. He only emerged in the last elections and said he wants to be president. Alan, Cheddar was able to beat Alan.
Yeah.
Cheddar had 88,944 votes, which represents 0.76%.
Yeah.
Okay? So if I look at Alan Chamantin, who has been part and parcel of the political process for the past 30 plus years, and Cheddar, who only emerged in the last elections, and we put them to the test in the last election, and Cheddar has about 3 times the votes Alan had. Clearly, I think Alan and the people around him in the Ghanaian politics are actually fading off. And therefore, if they are the leaders, and if Alan is going to be the one on the ticket of the party, I don't think that anything significant is going to change. And that is why I have said somewhere, and I'll say that if you're a young person and you are looking for a political party, and you think that politics is what you want to do, I don't think that this party gives you any opportunity. Because I'm giving you statistical evidence that if Alan for the past 30 years has been part and parcel of the political process, and we've been made to believe that people like him so much that if he stands, no candidate can beat him. And then he leaves the MPP to go and form his own party. And all the people we are told liked him, who are not even MPP and will be willing to vote for him. Now the man was on the ballot, and he had 32,000. It meant that all those things that were said about him really did not translate to the vote.
He was there as an independent candidate.
The personality of Alan is what I'm talking about. That was the campaign. That his personality, Alan, the name Alan and his personality,
the man,
will attract the votes. So whether it's independent or on a ticket doesn't matter. The argument was that his personality, the name, and what he has achieved in politics and in personal life is so attractive to Ghanaians that even people who are non-MPP, even people who are NDC, people who are called floating voters, will vote for Alan if he's on a ticket during any election. That is what we've been told, right? And as I said, you can't take it away that Alan has been a popular and prominent figure in the political landscape in the Fourth Republic. You can't take it away from him. So if you put all this together, and now the man was on the ticket, and statistically, the man has 32,457 votes. And then Cheddar, who has never been part of the political process until the last election, emerged, contested with all the others. And Cheddar has 88,944. About 3 times what Alan has gotten. Based on these statistics, I don't see the future of anybody in this party. And if you put all the smaller parties together in the last election, they had less than 1.8% votes. Okay? If you put all of them together, all the smaller parties, they had more than less than 1. And the history in the Fourth has shown. And I have said that if you look at Cheddar's performance, before the elections, I've heard social media say young people will be talking, they will vote for Cheddar and all that, the way he's young, his messages, and I see it translating to vote to the extent that he's able to defeat Alan. I have said that if you're a young person, you really wanted a party, not NDC, then Cheddar is the best option for you. Because like his message has resonated with some section of the Gen Zs. And if Cheddar should repackage himself very well, reorganize, and get maybe some other key people. Imagine Shattawale decided to back Cheddar. You saw the crowd over the weekend.
Indeed.
Imagine Shatta says, I want to back Cheddar. Cheddar says, if I come, Shatta will be the minister for tourism and creative arts. You will be surprised the way the young people, see, the generation we have now, they are different from the ones that they look for certain things, they think in certain ways. So if Cheddar, for the first time on the scene, is able to defeat a stalwart like Alan and had 3 times votes than Alan, if there's a young people's party or if there's a party that young people are tilting towards, it is Cheddar. Not NDC and MPP. Not NDC and MPP. It is Cheddar. So if any young person who is looking up to anybody, per this election results, the person will be looking at Cheddar's party. And I think that Cheddar's message, maybe somebody need to review what he said he would do during the campaign, and then do some study about how young people relate to such message. Can you imagine if Cheddar has done a campaign for 4 years before this election? Because Cheddar actually campaigned like almost 6 or 7 months of the election. He just was putting out billboards. We don't even know who was on the billboard. We saw masked face and a billboard. Who is this person? Who is that? And by the time they actually made us know that this is the person behind it, it was about 6 months to an election. And now that we know that, that mask was Cheddar, and then he's able to pull this vote and beat a stalwart like Alan, and is able to get that. It tells you that if Cheddar repackages very well, and is able to get certain young people who are not associated with NDC NPP, and they also have crowd pulling mentality, or the ideas will go down with the young people, Cheddar could become the third force in this country, because it could be a party that the younger generation are willing to associate based on the message. And as I said, I don't know whether it's the message that gone down well with them, or his age. Or the study, and somebody to do a study into that. But for the party we are talking about, and that is why the party was even struggle further. Anybody forming a party now thinking that they want to ride on in the past is missing the point. The generation that will determine the next election, if you go and do a study of MPP supporters who are between 25 and below, and ask them what they know about UP tradition, not even 10% will be able to tell you what they know about UP tradition. It's a tradition for the party. But those young people that were going to determine the election, most of them have no idea about, because the parties themselves don't preach ideology as part of their messages. They preach, I will give you a job, I will do that. They are not preaching any ideology. So the young people don't understand when we say UP, what really is the ideology. They don't even know. So if you think that riding on UP,
the history of UP,
you may become the CPP. The reason why CPP struggles in election, I always tell people that their messages are not targeted at current generation. They always want to leverage on the glory, the past glories of CPP. Those who enjoy the past glories, many of them are no longer alive. Those who are alive today and determine the vote they've not felt the impact of that CPP that you are mentioning. So when you say CPP, they only hear a name. And it was Kwame Nkrumah's party. But when Nkrumah was governing and CPP was doing all that, and these people they didn't even benefit from anything. And therefore, the CPP, until it took this message towards the generation, to not get it. So I'm saying that even NDC and NPP, if they are smart, they want to study Cheddar's messages. How come Cheddar emerged for the first time? It's able to beat a stalwart like Alan. It means that whatever he was saying during the campaign, probably the messages were resonating with some young people. And if NDC and NPP want to get those young people really to believe them and trust them and come to their side, it means that they need to find out through a certain study how people see Cheddar's message to translate to this vote. And it may help them to actually fashion messages and policies that will be closer to what Cheddar is saying, so that then they will look like they are ready to attract the younger generation. And that is how I am seeing the next 2 elections. In the next 2 elections, all the older people, most of them that know about UP or NPP and NDC, they are really gone. And you know that's why NDC is strong. Do you know why? NDC was not riding on any past glory. NDC was formed in 1992 after PNDC. So the people at that generation could really relate to NDC that they could relate to NPP at that time, because this is a part of some of the agenda. They were not saying that this is a part, but UP at that time, the NPP was giving history of all the part, which is good. And I'm saying if they really focusing on the ideological leanings of the party, the people will begin to understand why UP matters. But the messages they preach to people during campaigns largely have nothing to do with the ideological leanings. And therefore, people cannot relate to what UP stood for, because UP, those days were traditionally ideological. Okay? So if you are not telling them and convince people to understand ideology, they cannot relate to UP. So the fact that you go and pick the name UP does not mean anything. That's why Cheddar will beat Alan. So in the next election, Cheddar even works harder and try to pull some people to the side. If Alan is on the ticket, Cheddar may stretch the figure better, because his message is resonating with the people. And I think that we should look at these things more from this perspective, especially from the mindset of the Gen Zs who are going to be the majority voters in 2028.
The next election. True. Very well. I was going to move on, but just a quick one. Dr. Palgrave, if Alan should anchor the growth of his party strategically in constituencies or regions where his appeal is strongest, will it make any difference?
It won't make any difference. No appeal whatsoever. 0.28%. What was the percentage again?
Yeah, that's it.
0.28%. Oh. Do you know what 0.28% is in the grand scheme of 100%? 0.28%. Oh, 0.28%. Even if we are doing a titration, you know, I did science in school. I didn't continue to do medicine like my doctor did, you know. But if we are doing titration, 0.28% titration. Oh, my brother, let's not go there. It will not make any impact. The UPP is ending up like the CPP. That is what is going to happen. It won't make any impact. I don't really see the impact that it will make. No, I don't think it will make any impact. I really don't foresee. Do you foresee any impact that it will make? In which constituency? You tell me. Name the constituency that you think it will make any impact. 0.28% nationwide election. No. And I think the analysis that Elvis has made is so succinct. And in retrospect, maybe someone should have advised that the movement should have stopped. You know, when you have a movement, it's a vehicle that is moving. When you decide to stop the vehicle, there's no movement. So I felt that the 2024 general election should have ended that movement and repackaged with a rebuilding of the new patriotic party and sits down as a godfather and tell all the followers that, look, guys, as I look at it, I'm 70 years old now. If God even blesses me to be 100 years, I've got like 30 more years. In that 30 years, I feel that you guys need a future in politics. I bless all of you, reconstruct all of you, and give you back to the new patriotic party. Because, like I said, a fruit does not fall too far away from its tree, which clearly means that Alan Kojo Chemantin still holds the ethos of the new patriotic party there in his heart. That's why the setting up of his new party is not too far of a departure from what we have believed in and what we know. So it's not too late in the day. Today is Monday, 20th of October. It's not too late in the day. We can just come back and join our party. We are rebuilding our party. Numbers are important. If he asks is 0.28%, you know where I'm going to. Somebody said, if he asks is 0.28%, I'm not even too sure if the Akadaipe it will even reduce anything better. It will be left with 9.8.72%. You understand? But I think that Alan Chemantin should reconsider this, come join the new patriotic party. This is the formidable party that we have.
Right. Doctor, a quick one on the man himself, Alan. This will not be the first time he's leaving the MPP. He's left and come back. Then he left again, formed a movement, later an alliance, sort of, and now a political party. Do you think he still has that appeal to go forward?
Of course. For me, I think that Alan has become a product of, some hatred against him within the MPP, merely because he contested President Kufuor. I recall that some time ago when President Kufuor was choosing a running mate. I'm told that President Kufuor, some people recommended that he chooses the current national chairman of UP Plus, Boniface Abubakar.
Oh, yes.
The reason why he was not allowed to be the running mate, because President Kufuor said the man was close to Alan. Yes. That was why he was rejected. So, for me, I see Alan as a very respectable person. Growing up, some of us heard about him, about his strides. Former ambassador to the US, former minister of trades. Some time ago, he was leading a presidential special initiative under President Kufuor and what have you. He was one of the founding members of the MPP. Some time ago, I'm told that he has even been a leader of Young Patriotic Forum or something like one of the precursors of the MPP. And so he is somebody that has built a lot of people, young businessmen in the MPP. Except that, there's what we call vicissitudes of life. Some people got some positions because of time, because of their destiny or what have you. For me, I think that Alan has that level of integrity and stature and depth, more than many of the people that the MPP are boasting of presently, who are currently contesting as flag bearer. Except that, like I said, life is like that. But deviating from that topic, about the only party that resonates with young people is the NDC. and my senior brother, obviously. Yes, definitely. It's the NDC that has given a lot of opportunities to many young people. The NDC's, appointment presently is made up of 60% of young people.
Indeed.
I can mention Good Board, Lawyer Sameja Mfi, NPA, Lawyer Dujita Maklo, NIA, Yaira Kuku. I can go on and on and on and on. Some of us are sitting here, Kudeta Blackwa, my boss, the Honorable Felix Kwacho Fosu. So you understand the point, Beatrice Annan, and what have you. As I sit here, I'm a very young person. But the NDC has appointed me to occupy a big position in government.
Oh, you admit it's big?
Of course. Of course. How many political parties can boast of this opportunity that the NDC gives to young people?
Right.
And so it's reflected in the election in 2024. The young people constitute 62%. Look at the votes we got. Can you honestly tell me that significant portions of the young people did not vote for the NDC? They voted for the NDC because the NDC presented a front that resonated with them. We spoke about job creation. We spoke about bridging the inequality in education. We spoke about human capital development. All these things have something to do with young people.
Right.
You understand the point? And so I believe that going forward, just like we have always intimated, the NDC is the party for young people. And we will put in place every measure to endear young people towards us.
Very well.
And so the NDC is for young people, and we need to put that very clear on this platform.
Very well. Elvis, briefly, if Alan had stayed in the NPP, would this have been the proper Edumiso time?
I think if Alan had stayed in the PEP, this would have been his best opportunity. Yeah. That's me. Even the time I said, no. If you want change, you stay within and effect the change. You don't leave to go and effect change. You go and start something new. In this system, if you study it critically, change from within is more important than you going leaving to go and form another party. And I think that people, I've always said that the decision for him to leave was ill advised. Whoever took that decision, whoever asked him to do that, because I believe that a party is big, okay, and in a party people have their own interests. Alan's problem was that, that's my own view, he had not been able to build constituencies within the party that back him. That is how I feel. Because if you want to be a presidential candidate, we all know that you need to have a certain number of members of parliament.
Yeah.
Because the members of parliament, they deal with the people at the grassroots.
Yeah.
And so they have a certain direct relationship and sometimes even some form of alliance with the people at the grassroots.
Yeah.
So Alan, to me, was unable to build a certain number of parliamentary candidates or parliamentarians around his agenda to become president. So at the time he wants to contest, you realize that he's unable to pull the numbers because the people who will be able to tell the grassroots that I've been working with you here. And I think that Alan will be better. And therefore join me, go and support Alan. He was not able to pull those numbers on his side. And I thought I was thinking that it affected him a lot. Because I believe that if Alan had been able to pull at least 30% of MPP MPs in parliament, and then those MPs decide to work with the people at the grassroots, it would have made Alan stronger than he was in the election. And therefore, I thought that those who might have advised him throughout his political career, especially the presidential ambition, maybe their strategy didn't go well. That's because if their strategy had gone well, by the time Alan, after even the Akufo-Addo saga, and he had to concede and said Akufo-Addo and all that, if they had planned within 8 years, Alan should be able to control at least 30 or 40% of members of parliament. Okay, and by so doing, he knows that he's standing firmly on a certain support base. So you ask yourself, if you're not able to do that, then moving on, in which particular regions can you say Alan really is strong? In which particular regions will you say Alan's strength is here? If you look at NPP's primaries in the last one, 2024, Alan has not won in even any particular region, right? He has not won in any particular region. Ken, who came on, was able to win central region. Okay? So politics, there are certain things that once you have ambition that you want to become a presidential candidate, you have to look at certain blocks. You You must be able to build and control certain blocks within the party. And you know that when you pull those blocks together, you have a certain advantage that obviously puts you in a pole position to contest. But all these things, if you look at Alan throughout, you don't be able to establish this kind of blocks around him. And then when Alan contests and he loses, you hardly hear of Alan until there is another time for contest before you hear of Alan again. So you will see people who have worked with Alan in maybe 2008, by 2012, you see a lot of them no longer working with Alan.
Yeah.
By 2016, most of them are no longer working with Alan. You can't build a political career when every 4 years, by the time you contest, a lot of people you work in the previous elections are no longer working with you. It shows a sign of some credibility deficit, because people will want to see the same people working with you once you are adding more to it. But when the faces keep changing, people knew that, in 2008, this person worked with Alan. 2012, the person is no longer with Alan. 2016, those who work with him, they have left. They are no longer with him. And 2020, so you realize that even that consistency that you need in terms of those blocks backing you, even your own staff, in terms of campaign staff and all those things, it keeps changing. It doesn't convince the people that you are the right man to lead. Because if you are the right man to lead, they expect that everybody will start working, at least 80 to 90% should stay with you, and then you are adding on more ones. That is where you are building a base. So I have said that he had ambition, and he could have become president of Ghana easily on the ticket of the NPP. But I think the political strategy of how to build blocks that will be pulled together to back his candidature did not, either they didn't work on it deliberately or did not work for him. And I think that is why he struggled in the NPP. And I think that anybody who has ambition to become president should begin to learn some of these things. Look, who said people were willing to contest President Mahama in NDC, but when they look at the blocks he has built around, when you put the blocks together, you get less than 10%. President Akufo-Addo, people saw the blocks he have built together. If you put things together, you can't get it. So you see, people should learn that if you have the ambition to become president, know that you are not the only person who wants to become president. There are numerous people who want to become president for their party. So if you don't build blocks that will back you, look, the ordinary people can be shouting your name, but you go to every primary, you lose. Because the decision for you to become president is not for the ordinary people. It is for a certain block within the party. How have you built people within those blocks to make sure that you make the candidate before you go to the general public? So I think that there are a lot of lessons people need to do. I think that maybe some PhD candidate in political science may want to study Alan as how he went about his own political career, and maybe come out with certain lessons for people who want to be. And somebody may want to study Akufo-Addo, Mahama, and see what worked for them and what didn't work for Alan, so that future presidential aspirants will have scientific basis to be able to learn from these things to apply. I think that it will help our democracy to grow. We shouldn't let this thing just happen and the person faded out and that. Even the smaller parties like Pakwesi Ndum, Nana Akufo-Addo and Co., there should be some study. If you want a third force, maybe lessons from them based on studies could inform people what mistakes they made, and it could actually propel a new party or a younger party to do things better and may get a better result.
Very well. Let me take a few quick messages. This one says, good morning, Nana. The electoral achievement of third parties in this era has been consistently abysmal and has not produced a significant third force in national politics. The United Party Plus is no different. Big ups to Mr. Elvis. This is from Mr. Abel. I'm not sure who's advising Alan Kyerematen, but I think he'd benefit from trusting his own judgment. He's a capable individual and should avoid letting his ego dictate his decisions. Amino from Nsawam sent that. Very well. Let's now go to the courts. The CJ, the former CJ, I beg your pardon, is at it again. She has filed a suit to block Justice Paul Bafo-Boni's vetting as a Chief Justice. Doc, I mean, when you saw this, or when you read this story or heard about this, what came to mind?
We are testing our law. That's all that came to mind.
And it's good to test the law.
I was like, we are testing our law. And I can clearly see that former Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu is actively working. I mean, she's in her library, in her private office, working very hard to keep her name in the news. I don't know. It's a democracy. It's an environment where people can continually exercise their democratic rights, and this is one of those. Any other Ghanaian citizen could have even done that in terms of halting the vetting process. We need to see how this will travel. What issues is she raising? And why is she asking for the halting of it? But she definitely is on a mission. And I'm not too sure what that mission is. But we'll wish her the best.
Right. Dr. Ayer, your thoughts on this?
For me, I'm happy. Just like my brother, Dr. Palgrave said, that the former Chief Justice, or the removed Chief Justice, has taken the matter to court once more to have the decision overturned. Nobody can prevent her, nobody can stop her from asserting her rights. Except that for me, this move is unfortunate.
You think so?
Yes, it is arbitrary. It is, it veers into lawlessness and capriciousness, because what the removed Chief Justice is asking the court to do, or is asking the High Court to do, is to have a review on a 5-member committee of Article 146, headed by 2 Supreme Court judges. That is what the removed Chief Justice is asking the court to do. And I don't think that it is fair. I don't think that it is lawful. And even though she has the right in that forum to, test the law, but I think that it, like I said, veers into arbitrariness. Because what happens is that Article 146 is straight. That when a petition against the Chief Justice comes, the President will meet the Council of State. They will decide on a prima facie whether there is a case for the Chief Justice to answer.
Right.
The Chief Justice wrote a letter to the President asking for copies of the petition. Is that not it? She asked for 7 days. The President gave her 10 days. She asked for water. The President gave her wine. You asked for 7 days. The President gave you 10 days. Subsequent to that, a prima facie case was determined. A 5-member committee, including 2 Supreme Court judges, your own colleagues you work with at the Supreme Court, sat on the matter. Recommendations were given that you should be removed. The President signs a warrant in that regard for your removal. On what basis do you expect a high court, a high court, 2 steps below the Supreme Court, to appeal this matter?
This 146 committee, does it sit with the powers of a Supreme Court or a High Court?
The point is that it is a constitutional committee,
right,
made up of 2 Supreme Court judges. In fact, what she is asking for is for the High Court to review the matter. When they are reviewing the matter, what it means is that they will go into the merits.
Because she's seeking to nullify all actions of the committee.
Meanwhile, the Constitution says that any issue surrounding the removal of a Superior Court judge or the Supreme Court should be done in camera. High Court sittings are not in camera. It means that it defeats the very essence of Article 146 that says that the situation should happen in camera. Again, when a suit like that is filed, the Attorney General must be present to file affidavit in opposition to it. How will the Attorney General file affidavit in opposition? It means that he will go and pick the report or the content of it in open court. That defies
146.
146. And that's why I'm saying that it is lawless. And I don't expect the Chief Justice to go in that time. Even though I agree that her rights must be protected. Indeed, I'm one of the very few people that thing that the emoluments and the salaries of the chief, we can temper justice with mercy and grant her that. But the way a manner things are going, I believe that that sympathy that I had for her, I'm beginning to lose that sympathy for her. Because it does appear that even in the face of laws that guide processes of this nature, the Chief Justice wants to bring, ridiculousness into the matter.
You think so?
Oh, of course. The laws are clear. They are clear. They are clear. Because what happens is that when a petition of this nature comes, it is in the interest of the state or the constitution to protect the integrity of the courts. There's a reason why the matter is done in camera.
Right.
It means that we don't expect to see some things that should be kept in secret in the open public. When the High Court is sitting, as I sit here, I'm not a lawyer, neither am I a judge, but I can go and sit down and listen to it. Do you really think that matters of this nature must be discussed in the High Court or an open court? Forget about the fact that this matter is a committee of Article 146 made up of 2 Supreme Court judges. Forget about it. Do you think that the content of the petition, the procedure, the way and manner the proceedings went, should be discussed in open court? So I completely disagree with it, and I don't see anywhere. I've heard a lot of conversations from seasoned lawyers on many platforms. I don't think that there's any law that allows an appeal of this nature to be done at the High Court or whatever. So for me, I don't think that it must be encouraged. I think that it must end at a point in time. A warrant has been signed. Your own colleagues, 2 members of your Supreme Court, have sat on your matter and they have determined that there's a cause for you to be removed. How long do you want to stretch this matter? You understand the point? So I don't think it's fair, and this is just a complete waste of everybody's time, and we must not entertain that.
Right. Elvis, your thoughts on the former suit? She's seeking the court to nullify the actions of the Puaman Committee and as well nullify the warrant from the president.
As I've said, personally, I've said it over and over. None of the issues that have been used to remove a warrant a removal of a CJ. And therefore, for me, I think a removal is unfair. And as I've said, it's the first time it's happening in our history.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity for us to test all our laws regarding this matter. So that whatever pronouncements that come out there becomes the guiding principle in the future. So for me, as I said, I always encourage her to file as many processes as she can. At least it will bring more clarity to some of these issues. We ran a constitution, we all know that we say we're doing a hybrid constitution, and there are so many things in it that many legal experts have pointed out that needs to be reviewed. She's doing this thing at the time that the Constitutional Review Commission is also working. So I'm very sure that they also take notice of a lot of the things he's filing, the issues he's raising, and whatever the court will say about it, so that when we are going to do the review, it will also inform the kind of review we do in that aspect of the Constitution to make issues more clearer for everybody. So that when it happens tomorrow, we can say it is in black and white here, and therefore there's no need for any court case. So for me, I will only continue to urge her that whatever she thinks she needs to file, she should file. So that whatever the courts decide that should be the direction becomes the position of the law. So that if in the future a CJ faces a similar situation, there can be a lot of references to what has happened to Tokono and what the courts have said and which ones the Supreme Courts have pronounced on that have become law. And then it will be applied accordingly. So for me, I think that so long as she has the capacity and the financial resources to be able to file and challenge, it should continue to file and challenge. So that one day, when it happens again, all the references will be going to Tokono filed, and this is Tokono versus the state, and this is the pronouncement of the Supreme Court, and this is what stands, and this becomes the law. It will make things better for all of us in the future. So for me, I think that I stand my position. She should continue to file. Her removal was unfair, the issues used to remove her, none of them, in my opinion, merit removal of a CJ, a head of an arm of government to be removed based on such flimsy issues. I have always said that they do not merit the removal of a CJ. So to me, she must continue the fight as long as she can, because they will become the guiding principle for the country into the future, which is good for all of us.
Right. A few messages on that issue. This one says, good morning, I am Eben from Kwabinya, but I'm CJ Tokonu. Why wasting much of your time? Okay, why wasting much of your time like that? The CJ possession is not a family property, so focus ahead on other things, because you would not return, period. And you are sending greetings to the Vice President, Professor Nana Opoku Ajiman, the TDC boss, Honorable Courage Makafu Inunepeku, and the Honorable Akwesi Mensah of PSC Tema Shipyard. Okay. This one says, erosion of judicial independence. The most immediate and critical consequence is the weakening of the judiciary's perceived independence. The judiciary is intended to be a check on the executive and legislature. If the head of this branch can be removed based on grounds that appear to be politically motivated or through a process easily manipulated by the ruling party, it suggests the judiciary is vulnerable to partisan pressure. This erodes public and international confidence that the court can deliver impartial justice, especially in politically sensitive cases. All right, Abel sent that one in. Tomla from Mankranso says, wow, Ghana is now in safe, selfless, and competent hands. Single-digit inflation, exchange rate, commodity prices are down. No corruption scandals. Galamsey is being fought honestly. No more party hieska. Gold reserves are high. There's general satisfaction amongst Ghanaians and businesses. Okay, and business confidence is very great. May God bless John and Jane government and the NDC. All right, you can also send in your messages. We'll do our best to read them out on TV. This is Breakfast Daily live on ChannelOne television. We'll take a quick break here. Stay with us. When we come back, we continue with the conversations. Welcome back. Grateful that you stayed on with us. This is Breakfast Daily on ChannelOne television. Let's remind you that we're in the month of October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so get tested. Go get checked, all right? Both male and female. It's important that you know your status regarding breast cancer. Early detection leads to prevention. So go get checked, all right? Quite important. Now, October is also Cyber Security Awareness Month. And so we're rolling out a series here on television dubbed A Safer You, where we're engaging some analysts, some experts within the space to keep you informed on how to navigate the cyberspace safely, if you like. So stay with us here on Channel 1 television as we roll out this series throughout the entire month of October. We're having the news review segment. We have dealt with the issue of, if you like, a judicial review, an application filed by the former Chief Justice. We've dealt with the issue of the formation of a new party by Alan Kwadwo Kyerematen. Let's do education now, because schools have reopened. Over 500,000 first-year students have reported or are still reporting to senior high schools across the country. The GES is asking that parents get involved in the academic journey of their children. I think it's a good call. It's quite important. We shouldn't treat our children going to school as, if you like, good riddance, going to dump them in the schools and forgetting about them. I recall myself, I don't think anyone ever visited me when I went to school. But I mean, let's congratulate these students and welcome them to school. And then, of course, what your thoughts are about even the system itself and how these students should conduct themselves in schools. Doc, I'll start with you.
Education is key. And obviously, yes, we congratulate all these young people. 500,000, you said. It's almost like the similar number of people that come into the labor market. So 500,000 in, 500,000 out. And so we congratulate them. I think that school is a very good opportunity for you to be transformed and reformed, and for you to acquire extra knowledge. I always tell my students, because you're where I teach at UPSA, I always tell my students that your parents have brought you here so you can be transformed, so that you can become a better citizen. But also remember that you should take your studies very seriously. And you know, it was last week when the minister was talking about grading of schools and trying to move some B schools to A schools and some C schools to B schools. And you can be a very good student even if you are in a grade C school. And you can outperform some of the people in grade A schools. And so take your schooling very seriously, obey your laws and your rules, your housemaster, try and be a good student. Don't break bounds, don't go out late, don't go to nightclubs and do things that would bring you trouble in the future. If you see any of us and any of us are models for you, it's clearly because we took our studies very seriously. And peer pressure comes in every now and then. And so make sure that the best of the peer pressure that you can have is for you to be able to take your studies seriously. Let someone impact you positively by studying. So that you are studying more extra hours and spending more time studying. And that would be my advice to the students that are going to school, and make sure that you stay away from smoking and drinking, because that's very important.
So, Elvis, the PTA has been fully restored. For these first year students, how important is it that their parents are involved in the academic journey?
When the PTA are fully restored, I don't know. What do you mean? You
know, the previous administration removed the teachers from the PTA. So it was a parents association.
Yes.
And now it's gone back to the old system where now you have a parent-teacher.
But when you go to the PTA, during the 3 years, my nephews were in secondary. When you go to the teachers, the same teachers you deal with when you go to the PTA. We were going to PTA, they were calling for PTA every now and then. So when they say PTA is full, I didn't really get what they meant. Because when you go to the school to PTA, it's not like parents alone go to sit down and say this is how the school to be run. The parents sit down, the teachers sit down, the school head sit down, and the school tells you the problems of the school, and then they ask the parents how you can help. I don't know, maybe that's by the removal, but in that type of process on the ground, I don't see how teachers will remove, because how can parents go and sit in the school and say, parents associate, we have come here, we have come to our children. It never happened. You go there and the teachers are there, the school management people are there. They are the ones who are telling you what the challenges of the school is and how you parents can help. Maybe just by the on paper removing it, but in practice, it was the same process. So when people say they are removed, I didn't really get what it was. Always I get confused. But as you ask, maybe it's because by order on paper. But in reality, is that you go there and you go and sit there, and the teachers who are telling you everything, the executives are sitting with the teachers, and the teachers are the ones telling you the problems, and you come up with ideas how to help. You understand it? It's good we talk about the PTA. It's very good because when you put your child in school and you're a parent, don't really pay attention, a lot of things can happen. And you see, I always say that children spend more time with teachers than the parents. Even in your home. When you wake up in the morning, even if they are not in secondary school, you wake up by 8, you send the children to school. You're also going to work. They may come home about 4. You come back from work. 2 hours and they are asleep. So in actual fact, terms of interactivity, children are spending more time with teachers. So teachers are able to even to study your child better and are able to determine where your child is good at and where he has challenges. So when you have a very good relationship between teachers and students, it helps you to be able to identify the actual needs of your child, where you need to support so that your child can beef up performance. So it is something that even if there's no official anything, you, the parent who cares about your child, should always have some interaction with teachers who handle your children. It's very important because, as you said, many people go down their children, and unless they say there's vacation, they say, oh, I've sent you some transport, come home. and it's been like that. I understand some parents truly is that money issues to even take transportation is a problem. For me, the most important thing I want to say this morning is that President Kufuor started something called upgrading of schools. Okay? I think we built enough secondary schools in this country. Sadly, many of the schools are in situations that you don't want to send your children there. You go to the school, facilities are not there. Teaching and learning materials are problems. At the end of the WASI, maybe only 5% of the students are able to make the A to C grade. The rest all have to go and do resit. So if I'm a parent and I really care about my child, I will never want my child to go to that school. It's about time, I think, we revisit that policy of President Kufuor. That instead of us building more schools around, and they will all come to the same problem, why don't we rather resource the existing schools and lift them up? Lifting them up is not about on paper that have promoted you from grade C to grade B. It's about providing the resources, the teaching material, the teacher should be there. If you listen to Africa Education Watch, they tell you that there are so many schools that don't even have teachers at the basic level.
Right.
So how would children from those schools make any better grade to go to secondary school? And then the child gets a grade 40, they say, oh, the child's grade is so bad that he can't get pre-sec, he can't get Eburi girls. He has to go to another deplorable secondary school. So you are actually killing the child's ability to become somebody in the future. Not because the child is not good, but because the child has been to schools where teaching and learning has been at the lowest level.
Right.
But it appears we are not doing much about it. And that is why I've always supported the cause that we have paid so much attention to secondary school, even though a lot of them are still in deplorable state. State must make massive investment at the basic level. Because see, all research will tell you that the first 6 years of a child in school, so important. If the child misses the ability to pick up at that time, it's difficult for many of the children to pick up along the way. So if our basic schools are in situations where the children go there and the conditions are such that they can't just be taught any meaningful thing, and then they finish GSS, so because you have a grade 40, you don't deserve any category A school, go to a low school, you are killing that child. Children who have those grades are the ones who should be going to the best secondary schools, because they need a lot of work for them to catch up. But because we all know that the schools that we want to send them to are no good, we send those ones rather there. And then we think that those who have the 6, 7, and 8 should go to the best school. So in actual fact, education in this country is creating a big divide. And as the President Kufuor policy of saying that instead of building schools, why don't you upgrade, elevate, provide more infrastructure, the teaching and learning materials for the schools, so that when the child gets there, the child will not be interested, I'm going to pre-sec. The child goes to a school in his community, and every teaching and learning material in pre-sec is available in that school, in that community. But when we build the schools all around, and you do an assessment, you realize that almost half of the secondary schools you have in Ghana, really, if you know, you look at their pass rate at the end of every WASI, as a parent who want the best for your child, you will not send the child there. Then you'll be doing everything possible to get your child to the infantipims, the disadults, the prempers, the Buri girls, the holy. Because it's not because of the name. It's because you know that with the teaching and learning materials and the kind of teachers they have, if they go there, there are chances of making the grade A to C, which is the cutoff point for admission to tertiary level. Your child could make it if he goes to those schools. It's not because of the name. It's because you want your child to come out with pass mark. Because it's so frustrating when your child finishes secondary school and comes home and says, the results can say it's failed maths and science. And the system says because the child has failed maths, science, or English, he can't proceed to the next level of education. And now for the next 2 years, the child is home with you and is now looking for remedial classes to rewrite and try to pass. And you, the parent yourself, become so frustrated, the child becomes frustrated. Why are we not seeing all this frustration in the system and taking a decision that maybe in the next 8 years or 10 years, we are putting in place a master program to upgrade all secondary schools in this country? Once we are also investing heavily in the basic level, I think that if we don't do that, this rate of failure will continue. If you look, I always look at the WASI results. Nana, it's so pathetic that you can get as much as almost 200,000 graduates from secondary school who could not make the A to C, especially the English math science. And therefore, all of them have to go and do rewrite before they can further their education. Almost 200,000. Last year's result was about 460,000 who took their result, took the exam. About 180,000 fell within the category of not making it to the next level. Somebody has 6 A's but fails maths or science, and they say because you didn't pass science or maths, you can't move to the next level. I think that our educational reforms need something else. What we have done now, many young brilliant people on the street, not because they are not intelligent, but because he failed maths, he failed science, he failed English, and though he's made A in maybe 4 or 5 subjects, which show that the child may be good in A or B. And if that child is encouraged to go and do that, the child will excel. We say you can't continue because you didn't get A to C in maths, English, or science. I think that, look, this system we have created has become too much of a frustration for everybody in this country. And I'm saying that as a nation, it's about time we sit down and say this thing can't continue. We must do something about it, because see, we are destroying the future of a lot of young people by telling them that you didn't get A in, or you didn't pass your science or English, or so you can't continue. And the child now resort to all kinds of manner of things. And I think that God has given everybody a talent. Everybody has a talent. Yeah. Our educational system should be focused on, if Elvis is good at high jump or is good at history, if I fail my maths again, I can pass history. Let me go to the tertiary and go and do history. You don't know what I can do with that, because that is my talent. That's what God has given me. The school system is to identify my talent, help me refine it and make use of it. But now the school system kills your talent because you are not being able to pass maths. Maybe you are the best science student, had A in all your three science subjects, and then you fail maths. Even core maths. Sometimes you may even pass the elective maths, and you fail the core maths, and they say you can't progress with your education. I think that this stress we have put on ourselves for over 30 years now, it's about time. Look, I can tell you a lot of people who are frustrated saying they have money. They actually are doing O and GCA and O levels now in the system. Many people have chosen that they actually should do GCA and O level because they think that the WASI system we have put in place is just a total frustration. And you are making children to go and write 9, 10, 12 subjects in an examination. What do you need all those subjects for? What do we need them for? That's why I commend the current administration that, look, the law school, they are only going to examine you in the practical subjects. The rest, it doesn't matter. You are going to go to court to deliver practically. And theoretical subjects are being used to fail law students so many times. And the new proposal that comes and say, look, we are only going to examine you. I think it's about time we look at our education and say, look, we cannot be frustrating people in this manner.
Right.
We are tired of the frustration. Something must be done. The system is so frustrating. Let's do something. Let's upgrade the school. Look. It's not in this NPPU. Let's sit down and say our system education has been frustrating. Can we do a complete... Look, there are so many secondary schools. I tell you, there are so many secondary schools. They didn't have boarding facilities, but students will not go. The way they look at the pass rate, every year when the students pass, only about 5% are able to make the A to C. So why will I go to send my child to that school to come out and I is struggling 2-3 years to write remedial to pass a subject? If I force and send the child to the category A school, the best one, I'm sure that the A to C, the child is likely to make it. So I will do that investment and send the child. So why don't we upgrade the schools, put the resources out there? We can make it, please. It's so frustrating. Let's do something about it.
Very well. Dr. Ayen.
Yes, I think I agree with my senior Elvis. Almost something I said. How we can build our basic education. It is important that we note that the budgetary allocation this year we need for basic education was 7 billion. Ghana cedi, the highest ever. And it is important that we also note that this year alone we allocated 564 million in textbooks for basic schools. In the last 10 years, the highest has been 100 million. This year we have done 564 million. And I think that it is a very important and significant improvement that we have done, or we have had for the first year of a new government. I agree with GES that parents, benefactors, and guardians must take a keen interest in how our brothers and sisters in the secondary schools fare. I think that it is good. It is a good call. You see, these are young people. These are impressionable people. Many of them getting to the boarding house is the first time they are interacting and getting to know a lot of things from other people. All of us grew from different backgrounds. Some are from rich homes. Some are from average homes. Some are from middle class homes. Some are from poor homes. But because of the fact that all of them are under free SHS, for example, let me use free SHS for example, they come from different walks of life. And so they will have to learn a lot of things from other people. There are rich kids that will learn some habits from poor kids or middle class kids. There are middle class or poor kids that will also learn from rich people. When I went to secondary school, you understand, I went to Pokuwari School in Kumasi.
Oh, okay, was.
Yes. You could see that there were a lot of people who could not handle the new environment that they were in. Peer pressure got a lot of people.
True.
To do what their parents didn't teach them. You understand the point I'm making? And so we had kids whose parents came there almost every weekend. They come around, they bring them food, they talk to them, they ask them how things are going. It was surprising to know that these kids actually ended up well, because they know that at the end of the day, their parents will come there on Saturday or Sunday to check on them to know how they are doing. Such a kid will not sit down to deteriorate in his academics, because at the end of the day, you know that on Saturday or Sunday, the father or mother will come.
Yeah.
Not only the visitation, supports, extra classes, provision of books, financial support, and what have you. Of course, it is free education. Even though since we came, we are doing a lot of things. We have invested about 3.5 billion for the first time ever, the highest ever, in free SHS. Of course, there is improvement in their feeding and what have you. But you can't tell me that, you know, they will, I mean, that is enough. Parents need to come around to also give them, even if it's not financial support, emotional, psychological support. Some small money that will be given to them, so that they can have a sense of belonging, that there's somebody somewhere thinking about them, looking at, after them, having prospects that they will do well.
Yeah.
And so we, parents and guardians and benefactors, must not, as a matter of fact, leave these children to themselves. They must not be allowed or be left to throw their hands in this way. Because secondary school is no man's land sometimes. Me, for the first time, when I went to boarding school, because I've always been in the house. When I went to boarding school, it wasn't easy for me. You understand the point? Waking up early in the morning, 5:30, the bells are waking you up, going to do housework and what have you. You understand the point? There's a completely new environment. These young people need that level of emotional support and care from family and friends. And I believe that the advice from GAS is a good one, is a good call, is a step in the right direction, and I completely side and agree with them.
On educational reviews and reforms, because these are over 590,000, almost 600,000.
Yes.
They are all going to depend on existing infrastructure.
Yes.
It places such a huge burden.
Of course, and that is why, since, for I from opposition, His Excellency the President promised that within a matter of a short while, massive infrastructure development will happen in our various secondary schools. And I believe that it is currently ongoing. This year, the processes have been quite seamless. We've not had some difficulty that we used to hear in many years ago. Of course, you would admit that there are some isolated cases where parents have to struggle and become stranded to change postings for their kids and what have you. It is normal. Everywhere you go, these are systemic challenges that we face. Necessary measures must be put in place in order to curb these issues. But at the core of this whole thing is decisive leadership and initiatives to put in place the necessary steps to bridge some of these issues. As for construction, you can trust this government that putting in place structures, classroom blocks, dormitory blocks, to avert the situation of, congestion and overcrowding, it will be solved. It's a process. It is not an event. It will take a while, but you can trust this regime that will put in place measures to avert a situation like that.
Very well. Doc, final words.
Well, I think that the National Union of Ghana Students have had an election. I've been following very keenly. I had an interest in there. I had a young man that we've been mentoring, Agrippa. He came short of a few votes. He lost the election, but I just want to use this opportunity to congratulate him and tell him that he should give his support to Rashid, who won the election. And Rashid should also bring Agrippa into the leadership so that we can continually have a formidable student body and a student front. So yeah, just to congratulate.
Obvious.
Okay, I'll use myself as an example for secondary education.
Right.
I've never been to boarding school in my life.
Okay.
Because my parents couldn't afford.
Yeah.
I went to day school in my village, Parliament Dugan. I thought I went to a village school.
What's the name?
Parliament Dugan. It's in Sabda constituency.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was not privileged.
Is it after Boso?
Yes, there, Boso.
Okay.
Are you from there?
Boso.
See this man. My neighborhood. After the
We go do.
And then I said, okay, where will I go to school? My father is in Ashama. Boarding school I can't afford. I want to choose day school. The only school in Ashama was Ashama Secondary School. It's a new school established by Rawlings. 87, 89 educational reforms.
Yeah.
I went to school in 1993. Nana, sometimes even sit in the classroom was not available. Some of us will have to. Some people were sitting on blocks. Okay. My grade from Stanford was worse than what I had in JSS. Why? Because at that time the school is just new. There's virtually nothing.
Yeah.
We struggled to go to that school. I came to GIJ. Now I have access to the same facilities people from all the best schools are having. I was able to compete with them fairly. This is where I'm talking about infrastructure. Ashama Secondary School, as I said, was start day school. The population of Ashama is 208,000 according to the 2021 population housing census. And a population of over 200,000, there is only one secondary school. And even the secondary school doesn't have infrastructure. It's only recently that they added some old students built they get finance of built one hostel for girls.
Okay.
And the school serving that entire population over 200,000. How can the school deliver quality education that will match Presec or Infantryman if they lack the infrastructure? Meanwhile, if any government is being smart, like the Rawlings was, because you realize that Tema had secondary school, but the population of Ashama far outweighs Tema.
Yeah.
So he decided to cite that secondary school in Ashama. If we were doing statistical analysis and looking at Ashama's population, which is about population of about 4 or 5 constituencies put together, but Ashama is still one constituency. It needs to be divided anyway. It's still one constituency as we speak. If you want to take care of children from that community, that's why I said, even if we were to be building day schools, some of these things should guide us. If the school has the quality in terms of infrastructure, teaching and learning materials. And the teachers, no parent in Ashama will want to send a child to Kumasi.
No.
When they say PTA, now you are looking at transportation. So if we look at Ashama Sense, we say, this is 200 and something thousand. If we upgrade facilities and provide more, and people can trust the school and say, this school can make it, almost everybody in the area will send their children to that school. Yeah. But because when the parents go there, they look at the school, infrastructure is a problem. Almost everything about the school is a problem. So those who are making it are actually doing well. At the end of the day, I'm here and I'm a product of Ashama Secondary School. Who said that and I said I did JSS in a village. Yeah. So assuming that we upgrade that school to the level of Presec with infrastructure, every child looking at every student to Ashama Secondary School, if he's able to get to that level, and now the school even has better facilities, they will not be struggling to force that their children should go to Adisadel and co. Yeah. And that's why I'm emphasizing that if we are able to look at statistics and do some of these things very well, the pressure on placement will reduce. The entire pressure on placement is that the school gives the parent travel to the school and say, I can also my child to this school. Everything the school doesn't work well. So they let me come and force a bed Presec or go and see some big man or woman and say, please, can you find admission for my child at Adisadel or Buriga? Because those places, when they go and they look at the infrastructure, they look at the facilities, they trust that the children will get better education from there. Yeah. But if we have a big school, Ashama Secondary School is expanded big and made a very big school, I'm telling you that nobody in Ashama will want to be spending money to send a child to Cape Coast or Kumasi. Because why would I be traveling to Cape Coast maybe every 3 months for PTA or Kumasi for PTA? When if the best school, a good school is with me, I'll send my child there. Even Tema Secondary School, which used to be a very good school, if you go to Tema Secondary School, all the facilities are deteriorating and we are not investing to improve them. And I think that it's about time we take the infrastructure, teaching and learning materials for all schools Very seriously.
Very well.
I invite all of you to Ashama Secondary School 35th anniversary. It's on this. It's on the 15th of November. Ashasek will be the first day. The first day teacher asked me, "Which school did you attend?" Nasha Sama says, the whole class was on the ground. They were laughing at me. They said I didn't know my school. That I went to my secondary school. After that, they didn't even know that.
They didn't know of it.
The school has been existing for about 10 years at that time. They were laughing at me. There's no secondary school. I said, who told you? The teacher was shocked. The students were shocked. This is the situation. Let's improve schools. Get on, I'm begging you, come and build more infrastructure for Ashama Secondary School.
But I think that we should congratulate Elvis. Because all the way from Ashama, you see where he is.
Yeah. From a village, my village to
Ashama. All the way from a village
school.
Yes, so let's commend him. Today he's on national television.
So if
he owns the news center.
More people can also
let's commend him. He's an icon.
Is it development? Like the assembly should look at the strategic importance of that school under their jurisdiction. That the entire municipality of over 200,000. There's only one secondary school. So why don't assembly look at if we improve infrastructure here, then this thing should be going to get fan office every day to lobby for expansion.
Very well, thank you. We'll have to leave it here.
A
quick one.
Let me also congratulate Rashid Ibrahim.
Okay, Nooks.
Nooks president-elect. He's a young man who also has the same history as my brother Elvis here. He comes from very far. He's done well. He was called to the bar just about a week or 2 weeks ago, all the way from the Bono region. He's come so far. I think that he will do well. I want to use this platform to encourage him, congratulate him, let him know that we are always there to support whatever he does. Let him serve the young people and young students of this country. At the end of the day, his name will be in the good books.
Very well. So congratulations to him. We have a few quick birthday messages to share. This one says, happy birthday to our dear daughter, Audrey Inshira Ando. May Jehovah Almighty bless your new age. 7 and sweet. Audrey is a treat. We love you from your dad and mom, Mr. and Dr. Mrs. Ando, your siblings Phoebe, Charlie, and Michelle Ando. And they end by saying, we love you. There's a final one here. This one is from, it says more blessings and favor in the years ahead to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Kunedu Jani, founder of Ghana Thyroid Foundation, from Prince Badasu A2T Media. And it says he's wishing you all the best. This has been the news review segment. Stay with us. Breakfast Daily continues after this.